Hey guys, how's it going? This is Jake Mattern again. It's been a while. I wanted to give you guys a replay from I was recently at the Midwest Edison Clash event in Ohio. Um, I unfortunately did just barely miss top 16. I got 18th place, but I was feature matched, so I wanted to go over a feature match review that I thought would be interesting to watch for you guys. Um, I played the exact same list as Vegas, so for anybody who has deck list questions. Um, We are both X2 at this time. It's round 6 of 8. And I'll be playing against X-Sabers here. I didn't know that going into it. I will say my opening hand, unfortunately, was 6 traps. I do remember that. So I set a trap plus Yada. I don't remember which one, but it was a good one because at least, very least, like I could bait out heavy and go even against anything, right? And I didn't have a Solemn or Starlight in my hand or anything like that. So nothing I do about that. I'm going to chain the Yada anyways, though. And unfortunately, this one was a very much a non-game. Um, David's really cool. It was really cool to meet him. He opened a crazy hand, though. Crazy hand. Wasn't even sure if he knew I was on GBs after game one. Yep, so for those that don't know, you go those two into any 2400 7-star, and then Fultrell bring back Air Golem, and that's exactly 8k on the field. Only way around it is Gores, and I do not have Gores in hand. And even if I have Gores, I end up pitching a card too, so it's like still like not like the best thing ever. Um, and then Arcanite blows up Gores, so like yeah. Um, but uh, but yeah, so that's game one. Really quick game one. Um, it tells me information though they're on Sabers, so that's really good. I will say I didn't have my side mapped out for Sabers. I didn't have like a specific game plan for Sabers originally, so I was a little bit winging this. Like it was kind of like on the fly decisions right here. Um, I know that I probably sided in um, Chariot, like a second Chariot, um, or sorry, third Chariot, third Compulse, and and Hopalomus, because I don't need two Retiari in the matchup. Um, Looking back at it after the fact, once I got to see more of his list, um, by game three, I probably should have sided in the Tiger plus the third Tiger plus Stegosaur too. Um, that'll explain better play I made in game three why I didn't go Stegosaur, because I didn't bring it in. But this is just because of my inexperience in Edison format, having to play against Sabers. I remember Sabers from back in Saber format, and I remember some pretty chunky trap lineups. So I wasn't sure what route he was going with it, but he was kind of trap light, I believe, by the end of this match. So I think I would have brought in Stegosaur. But either way. But so for reference, I did not bring in Stegosaur though. Yeah, so even though OTK happened, um, I'm not too worried here. Um, I believe I actually also I believe I brought in Starlight Road actually instead of either Chariot or Compulse, just because I wanted to stop as many OTKs as possible. I think that made sense. Obviously, Starlight Road doesn't stop the Cold Wave or Trunade, but it does stop the Heavy. So like might as well do bring out something that stops one of them, and then also when they don't have a back row sweeper, Starlight Road stops Hunlai. So and I guess like a Black Rose if he makes it right. So, but overall, like I'm pretty well paired, I believe, into this deck. The problem is this deck has a lot of OTKs. They play Mind Control, Brain Control, Heavy Trunade, um, and Cold Wave. So those are the main threat cards here. But if I can dodge dying to those, then the rest of the matchup's pretty favored. All right, I set for pass with dust shoot. Cool. Um, I don't actually remember if I had heavy or if I had solemn or starlight. I don't think I did. The thing is though that I had dust shoot and yada, so it was like effectively a set 2 pass, not a set 4 pass. So like I felt comfortable with the sets. Yeah, no, I definitely didn't have solemn or road actually. So level limit. Um, I opened up Yada all 3 games, which was crazy. I only played the one. um, if I started Denseki Tour, I would have taken out the Yada, but all right. So I Dust Tornado. Didn't feel like you needed Dust Tornado on activation because I could take some time to decide and just put it to attack about on my turn. So I know his hand uh because of Dust Shoot. So I know he has Deep Prison. So I know he has to Deep Prison the first one. If he doesn't and lets it through, I just tag Bestiari and don't swing with Laquari, and it blows up for free. So for here, I want to eventually get a 21 Laquari onto the field. Um, the Sam Knight's the next best option because if he sets one of his many recruiters that are probably in this deck, then I can just get a free Chariot search because I don't have Chariot at this point. I don't think I drew Chariot all match actually, which is kind of crazy, but I'm comfortable again setting 2 because I mean he didn't heavy me already, so all right. So Sam Knight went through. So even though search over a guy would be great, I'm just gonna go for the Laquari because just a safer choice to have on field. Also, post side deck versus any deck, decks are siding Cyber Dragons against you, so like, I think it just makes sense. All right, Hoplomus. We are going to attack. I assume I tagged Bestiari here. I believe that's what happened. Yep. Bestiaried. I still don't believe I have like an out to heavy. But like at this point, like I'm willing to just have outs to more things. Like I'm okay with it. I think my new set was like a compulse. So like I can like save a guy or something like that if I want to, but no, it wasn't a compulse. I don't remember what it was actually. I think it was just comfortable having 3 because I hadn't seen heavy yet. I was like, you have it or you have it. Unfortunately, I don't have a Book of Moon or a um or a Compulse down. Unfortunately, I did have the Chariot. That's what it was. Okay, he just played around it. Um, makes sense. So yeah, even though that sucks, he is only at 18, and I drew Laquari, so that's enough. Either way in that game state though, any GB that wasn't Laquari, I quest back either a War Chariot or another GB. Had one other card in hand, which I think was something I could set. So like I'm still in like a pretty good state. Like my GB into a quest immediately puts me back um at positive card advantage. So in limited game state, like I'm still comfortable with it, even if the Black Rose like happens in that world. Which again was only gonna be possible with brain control or mind control. Alright, and we're gonna move on to game 3. believe game three, I end up opening a non-monster hand again, or at the very least, like no monsters besides Test Tiger, which is always unfortunate. But the deck has a lot of protection for like once you draw a single monster, and it has a lot of one for ones, so like you can normally like drag the game state out for a little bit until you get the monster without like going negative. So T set, I figured it's probably a recruiter, and then that could be anything back there, obviously. Just probably not a. I mean, actually, no, it could be anything. I can't even rule much out right now. Because it could even be a trap stun, because if it's a recruiter, you could figure that I'm going to remember Milo and not Bestiary, so the trap stun's live, so like, yeah. Like I mentioned before, one of these three is Yada, so we felt comfortable setting three. Mm-hmm. Yep, we prison that, just get rid of it. And the biggest reason we prison that and not GB, try to go over it, is because we don't have a GB in hand. So we need to just answer it. And it's like classically a good prison target, right? It's a recruiter, so Yada. I believe I still don't have a GB. I think I don't have it for a couple turns. Set two more. Mm-hmm. Just confirming the effect is what I thought it was. But yeah, it is. I want to make sure if it was a 21, if it attacks an open board or not, or if it's an 18. We're gonna Mirror Force. Again, this card's not like the biggest threat if I draw a decent sized GB, but I just don't know when I'm gonna draw one, so we're gonna get rid of it. We don't need him to keep a Saber on the field for an extra turn and then go second summon into Fault Troll, so yep, I still don't have a GB. So set one more pass. Ragagura. I think he gets back the 1800. And yeah, Iron Phase Dust, new set. Finally drew to Glad Beast. Okay, book is fine. I think I also had a book, so like I was comfortable if like I got deep prisoned or bottomless, I probably was just gonna book myself. Trap stun, unfortunate, and I had a compulse as well. So I compulsed his guy, not my guy, because I didn't want to get fault trolled. And I was not overly stressed about potentially my guy dying, because I believe that I already had like an out to what I need. Yeah, because I already had cores plus something else in hand. I did just draw another GB. Yeah, bursting into course pack. I think it's like GB Book of Moon in hand, so like there's nothing, no reason to Sam Knight. I think it's a Sam Knight, so it doesn't even run over the Sidra Book of Moon. So yeah, we definitely just cores. Obviously, most players in that situation don't put you on the course right there, especially in GBs. All right, so we play the GB. Attack over Sidra. We're going to attack Quest first. If it's a recruiter and he grabs like another Emmer's Blade, um, then I won't attack with the token, and I'll Marvello. I think I set one pass. Yep. He needed the one. Thought about it. I think it's because it's Book of Moon. I think that's why I'm thinking here. Okay. So he attacks over Murmillo. Obviously, worst case could have been like Full Helm Knight there. So he gets back the Emmer's Blade in his yard, but that didn't happen. Um, Back over. So I didn't have a second GB yet, or another GB. And Heavy's gone, and Druni is gone, and one stun's gone. I mean, so yeah, we're obviously setting two. Ragagura. Okay. hmm Get back a recruiter. Okay. So that's a turn or two. Hopefully I can draw a GB so I can answer the recruiter better. I drew a GB. Love it. Hopefully it can get through. Prison. I believe I have book, but I don't have another way to stop an attack on the GB, so we let it through. We don't have another GB yet, I believe. Set another pass. Again, we're not afraid of sweepers now. And I believe if he went second summon and tried to do fancy plays, I did have an out to that. I think I could have Book of Mooned one or something like that to prevent a Voltral and to prevent a Hunlai. So I'm putting him on at least one recruiter because we know we grabbed the Emmer's Blade. It's probably two recruiters because he has giant rats and stuff too. Um, so we're summoning GB here. Um, I have two different goals. One is if they're not both recruiters, I'm going to go into Murmillo. If they are both recruiters, I'm going to end up going into Geyserus because I have a Test Tiger in hand. Or, either way, I'm going to use the Test Tiger because I need to get back the Morello from Grave. But okay, he played Full Helm. So I'm going to check if the face down is a recruiter or not. And I know I'm not afraid of recruiter into Ragagura because that card's in Grave already. And Sabers only play one normally. I at least know about the deck. So there's no like plus ones he can grab off of like a recruiter right now. So I'm gonna attack the set. If it's just something that dies, then I'll Darius Murmillo and then Tiger, or the Murmillo back to kill. This is Murmillo confirming that. I for some reason thought Full Helm Knight could only negate an attack on itself, but it's any attack. So, which is fine. So we go our Geyser's plan. We're going to bring back Darius, get back Murmillo to get it back into the deck. We're going to Tiger, Bestiary. Bestiary is not optional. I'm going to destroy my face down Dust because he hasn't been set any back rows for a bit. And I forget, but I know the other two are more valuable, I believe. I think it's Book and something else. And yeah, so I figure this should be ending the game. Level limit's very good though. I have a lot of outs for level limits, but I don't have one right now, including 4 GBs, which I happen to draw one of them, so that pretty much seals the game. But yeah, it was any one of 4 GBs that were still in my deck at the time. Um, uh, there's a couple tornadoes left, and heavy was still left as well. But oh, and hard drawing bestiary our proving ground was an out as well. We leave the bestiary because we have a way to defend it. We have the Book of Moon in our hand forever, um, and it lets us guys rest on the next turn again. And this should end the game unless the face down's like torrential. It's the game. So yeah, I hope you guys liked. Overall, I thought it was a pretty cool match. It was and I know Sabers isn't a usual one that we see, but I know it is a deck that did well at a Time Wizard a few months ago. I think it like top 8'd or something like that. So like it's not like a deck that nobody has seen before. But yeah, that's the announcers. I also had a quick interview after this by the announcers, so I might post that replay so you guys can see it on the channel, the interview that was done. Um, but yeah, I hope you liked it. I know there's been a request recently for a side decking guide video, and I do plan on putting that out. I've just been really busy, especially with this trip going on. And yeah, and then another call out is I will be at Arbet Denver both days. So just a call out. If you end up being there, feel free to say hi. I'll be there both days. But besides that, that is it, guys. I hope you have a good one.